prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
DizzieMac, Jennifer, the original Shimmy Shake Girl, Bras, Panties, and Sports, the Midas Mind, sports from a moneymaker's perspective, Bras, Panties, and Sports, Andre Ramirez of ExtremeSportsPicks.com, building a legacy of smooth, Bras, Panties, and Sports. First Lady, take it away.
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the Spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Brian Urlacher has been singing like a canary when it comes to how he feels about Jay Cutler. Listening to Urlacher sounds like the vultures are about to fly out because Jay is a dead quarterback walking. Is Brian squawking so he can get some props for being fair when it comes to the issues about the Bears? Is Brian doing some Jay-hating? Should Brian shut up and suit up and help the Bears' sorry defense? Dick Butkus, Richard Dent, Mike Singletary, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, I know DizzieMac is a little bit upset all of this fighting among the Bears, but Brian is not Jay-hating, nor should he shut up. Jay Cutler has not been able to lead the Bears to a playoff. Lovie Smith is gone, so you can't blame him. So the only other consistent problem has been Jay Cutler's performance. He has been an average quarterback with potential that he has not lived up to. So if you haven't reached your potential in about 14 years, 13 years, you'll never reach it. And I'm sorry, the Bears foolishly, and I say foolishly, gave him all of that money as if he were an elite player. Jay Cutler is the same model as Tony Romo. He will always find a way to lose, and he is not a winner. So, DizzieMac, I'm going to go right to you. What do you feel about what Brian Urlacher said?
First Lady, I was good with it because this is the same thing that Gil Sears and Big Buckus and the old-time Bears did to Brian Urlacher when he was playing. That's just how it is in Chicago. Old Bears don't go away and hibernate. They just come out and criticize and tell the truth. No. He's not hating. He shouldn't shut up, nor should he suit up.
Okay. All right, let's go to Andre. Come on, Andre. I know you got some pointers regarding this situation in Chicago. What's going on with Brian Urlacher and Jay Cutler?
Well, Cutler's actually having one of his best years. Believe it or not, he's put up 266 yards this year. The only problem that he has had in the past is actually two problems. Is his double foot when he's throwing the ball, and he actually fixed that. That's when he kept on throwing these interceptions. But one of the biggest things with the Bears, and I'm going to put this out to the players of the line. At once, I knew that he was known for sacks. He had the most sacks. A quarterback can only take so many hits. Guard your quarterback, and that's the biggest problem. I understand, Brian Urlacher plays defense. He's got a mouth, but he has no room to speak because, you know what? This guy, honestly, before the game, he's got his butt bent over in the back room taking cortisone shots. It's the cortisone talking. Protect your guy. And I like Cutler. He's good. You just gotta. It just makes no sense just running his mouth. You just wish that he can do better. But Cutler's all shot up with kidney problems.
He's good, but is he worth that elite money that he's getting? I mean, that's the thing. He's very good.
Well,
I don't know about that, Andre.
He's very good. You need a line to protect him. That's the biggest problem. You don't have the record sacks for nothing.
Okay.
I blame the coach.
You blame the coach. All right, let's move on to Joe. Joe, you agree with Andre? You're saying Brian Urlacher is wrong for saying anything about Jay Cutler's performance?
Andre is a West Coast guy. We've been watching Chicago since 1964 around this place where I am. And you know what? Brian Urlacher is right on the money. Jay Cutler is boo-boo, boo-boo. And he got all that money to be a Tom Brady, to be a Peyton Manning, to be a Drew Brees. Does he have a lot of sacks? He does, because he double clutches the ball before he throws it, and he has a lot of picks, because just like a rookie, he's got a strong arm that he thinks can get him over, and he stares down a single receiver. And if you stare down a single receiver and the ball doesn't get there fast enough, you get picks. If you double clutch, you get sacks. And if you hold the ball too long because you're staring down a receiver, you're back there more than 3.5 seconds. The offensive problems in Chicago aren't with the weapons around Cutler. They are Cutler. He stinks.
I think Joe, the Midas Mind, has said it all, because I agree with you. I think it's just Andre, we got to get on board with this analysis, because Jay cannot lead, and that is his problem. He's been there for many years, and I'm sorry, he does not have, led them to the playoffs. All right, DizzieMac, over to you.
Hey, y'all smell that? Smells like boo-boo. Don't call it a comeback. Years. I got my feds putting seconds of feds, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion. Overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call for cops. Look, you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get you sliced and diced. Competition paying up price. I'm going to knock you out. Huh. Mama said knock you out. Huh. We are not talking about Iran, Blade Barkley, Arthur Abraham, or Gene Fullmer. We're talking about the knockout trade done by the Seattle Seahawks, dumping Percy Harvin from their roster for toe chains. Waste management, 3 guys in a truck, smear you later, and the Chicago Sanitation Department are asking, what you saying? Well, DizzieMac had scooped that trade last week, and it seems like Percy Harvin has been a bad news kind of guy, fighting teammates, refusing to go into games, just acted up like a clown. But see, I wonder why NFL kept this under wraps. I mean, we heard he was a little bit difficult. Maybe he'd wake up some days not wanting to play and say, I got a migraine. I can't play. Doing my shades. I'm going to lay down. Or he was going up somebody's head, upside somebody's head on his team. Whoa. But sometimes you got to cut bait. They were lucky they got something back because Percy Harvin would have been just outright cut. So at least somebody's picked up this contract for a little bit while longer, and it seemed like the New York Jets are that team. First lady, don't grimace like that. You grimacing like you ate a sour persimmons or something. I know it's New York. I know it's New York, but Joe, it was the right thing to do. Get him out of town, you knucklehead.
You know what, DizzieMac, this guy was such a dynamic talent that he must have been a real butthead in the locker room. I've heard some reports that he was making inferences toward Russell Wilson, that he wasn't black enough. So he was going to put his blackness and Russell Wilson's closeness to the front office to question a man's manhood inside the community. Well, you know, that's kind of a low blow, and it's sad to say that inside the community, that type of racist tactic could be used. But if there's any question to Russell's blackness now, I think he pulled a pretty hood move. He went to the front office and moved this punk around. And Russell is sitting there waiting to get his contract without worrying about what they're going to pay Percy. So move around, Sean.
That's what I'm talking about. Get this punk out of town. Andre, man, you out there on the West Coasting. What's going on with the Seahawks, man? Did they make the right move?
I want to tell you this. I remember the hype when Percy, was picked up, and they had to give up a first-round draft pick, seventh-round draft pick, and a third-round draft pick for 2014. And they gave this guy $67 million with $25 million guaranteed. What? What? You got 27 passes? That's it. Waste of money. See, they actually got hustled on that deal. Now, Percy Harvin, he's actually, if you look at the character, he's a dog with fleas. Just straight up. And in this situation with the Jets got a little more thugs down there. So I think he might blend in, but, he ain't going to be able to run his mouth because he might get checked. But, he might get Percy Harvin might have to call my buddy Mayweather over there and, get him in the ring and slap him around a couple times.
Okay. I see you. Hey, if anybody can check you in a New York minute, it's the first lady.
Well, the question is Percy Harvin a disruptive personality? Hell yeah, he is. He has shown he's been a problem child since he's been in his college days. I mean, come on now. He tested positive for marijuana in college. And how could we forget this scene on national TV when he was yelling at Leslie Frazier when he was with Minnesota? And even last year during the Seahawks championship run, he had run-ins with his teammates, Golden Tate. And this year with Russell Wilson was the last straw. I mean, yelling at Russell Wilson and chasing him with a bat. Yeah, that's the story that's coming. That's the backstory that's coming out. The bottom line, the Seahawks cut their losses with Percy Harvin and dumped him. And it's a case of addition by subtraction. Pretty much that's all you can say regarding Percy Harvin. They've added substance by getting rid of him.
Hey, I told you, if anybody can check you in a New York minute, it's the first lady. Well, DizzieMac had a busy night last night. We were kicking it all over the place. hitting up parties, and it seems like my partner, Shimmy say girl, Jennifer, is a little bit late. Jennifer, is that you?
That's me.
All right, hey, girl, you snuck in here right quick, but hey, go ahead and take us to break. Go ahead and take us to break, and then we can get you all dolled up right quick.
Sweet. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Antoinette on the first part of Shout Out.
Free Mr. Barr!
I'm Boss Hogg, host of The Last Word. When I'm inside or outside of the studio, I have to make sure I wear the best, and that includes the best in eyewear. Ray-Ban eyewear has been worn by those seeking to go from myth to legend. Ray-Ban's selection of legendary styles dating back to 1937 have been worn by the famous, infamous, and everyone in between. Ray-Ban eyewear has stood the test of time. Many of today's top entertainers, athletes, and those who want to make a fashion statement choose from this vast array of styles designed to take you from myth to legendary. To find a store near you or to browse their wide selection, visit Ray-Ban at www.ray-ban.com. That's www.rayban.com. Take it from Boss Hogg. I say rush it when it comes to Ray-Ban. They are the last word when it comes to eyewear that will make your style legendary. Holla!
The music flows in from around the globe. To get a shout out from the panel, First Lady, take it away.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from Inobi out of Los Angeles and her self-titled album. The first track we are playing is Ba Da Da.
Treat me like
That was ba-da-da. Okay, sometimes you have to check sometimes, people. You guys say ba-da-da. DizzieMac, what do you think? Shouting ba-da-da out, or are you going to hit the mute?
Oh, we shouting that out. Like that groove, man. That really puts you right in there chilling. I'm over here on the Bearskin rug, just relaxing, drinking this mimosa, chilling with my man, Ronnie B.
Okay, you try chilling over there, okay? Even though we're going to check you with that ba-da-da. All right, let me go to Jennifer. Jennifer, come on, you give me the shimmy shake girl point of view on ba-da-da.
It was nice. It was good. I'm going to give it an A for effort.
Okay, yeah, A for effort. So you're going to shout it out. Okay.
You shout it out. But it was good.
Andre, how you feeling ba-da-da?
She was off key a couple times, but she sings a soul, so I'll give her a thumbs up.
All right, got thumbs up, A for effort. Joe, what are you thinking?
First Lady Inobi, she was kind of grooving, but it sounded like she got it bad in that song. She might be a stalker, but I'm gonna give her a shout out.
Well, she said, well, yeah, she said she got to check people. That's what I said. Ba-da-da.
No, Joe, no. Joe, no.
Thank you, Joe, for that insight. Now I'm scared to not give her a shout out. No, I like the track, so I'm giving it a shout out.
I'm going to give it a shout out to Midas. Inobi's great. So we'll hear more from Inobi on part 2 of Shout Out. And I think I'm hearing a sound out there. I'm hearing a sound of my favorite underwater friend. Is it time for Flip It?
Yes, it's time for Flip It, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Now, if you were the GM of an NBA team, you'd be sitting pretty, because I would love to be a GM of an NBA team. But who would be your number 2 player to start a franchise? There's the debate of who would be the number 1. But who would be your number 2 player? All these great talents to pick from. Now, recently it was announced the GMs had weighed in and voted Anthony Davis as the number 2 man they would bankroll. We asked the panel to defend. Anthony Davis got steals. He is a flat-out number 2 choice for starting a franchise. Midas mine. We know you know about bankrolling. Defend.
Ronnie B. Anthony Davis, he's a flat-out number 2. He might be a flat-out number 1. This young man is, 20 and 10 over 2 years, coming right out. And while he seems to be a quiet character, kind of Tim Duncan-esque, believe me, in a couple of years, as he matures and he tries to get the rest of the team to rally and fight, stay disciplined, when he frowns up at you with that unibrow, you're going to get in line, baby.
Okay, all right. DizzieMac, put down that glass of mimosa for a second. Anthony Davis got skills. Is he a he is a flat out number 2 choice for starting a franchise? The man, the Finn.
Anthony Davis is a rare talent. He's got size, the length, the speed, the youth to only keep getting better and better. He's already improved. His stats are phenomenal. And just like with a lot of young players, when you get a chance to play on that U.S. team, your skills just seem like they just really improve because you get that specialized coaching. He's got it all. And he's even got the unibrow, which makes him his own special species. You got 2 brows coming together to make one. Who can do that?
The unibrow. Interesting perspective on the defense. Okay, Anthony Davis got skills. He is a flat-out number 2 choice for starting the franchise. Andre Ramirez, unibrow, defend.
Davis led, the team in blocks, and he averages about 20 points a game, which is really good for NBA. And, he's not a loudmouth like, most players. He's very quiet. But what really made him shine is that when he played, when he went against the other big players in the USA team, actually kind of raised a red flag because the other guys were thinking, now this guy's good. But he doesn't run his mouth, and I like that in a player. He can probably, he came out swinging his first year, second year, and I think he is the next superstar. That's a lot of points for 20 points a game, and he can block. So, I'll lay my money on this guy. And you be careful. He might be your number 1 if he's putting up if he can put up this kind of points again. He might. I think Derrick Rose might be he's in that league. So I like this kid.
We've heard the defense from Andre Ramirez. You savvy tongue sucker. And now we hear the defense from the First Lady. Anthony Davis got skills.
Anthony Davis is only 21 years of age, and you can't teach size in a league where having a dominant big man is not prevalent. I'm talking about Anthony Davis has the potential to be a dominant 2-way player. He can bring center dominance back to the NBA. I mean, last year he averaged 20 points and 10 rebounds. He is a defensive phenom. I mean, he needs to work on his offense, but he can still shoot a jump shot, and he can run the fast break. He's an efficient shooter at 50%. I compare AD to Patrick Ewing when he first came into the NBA. He was a defensive player who was raw with his offense. But Patrick is one of the greatest 50 players. Trust me, Anthony Davis can be one of the next 50th greatest players.
Wow. Okay. All right. We've heard the defense. But this is flippant. You have to work to find out what our panelists really feel. So we're gonna flip it, and we ask the panel to defend. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Anthony Davis got skills, but none of the intangibles to bankroll building a team around. Joe Midas Mind Miller of Your Prosperity Insights over there in the bank room with a glass of mimosa hanging out with Jennifer, the original Shimmy Say girl. Defend.
Anthony Davis is a great physical talent, but it takes more than just great physicality to build a team around. You have to have some leadership, and that leadership has to be vocal enough to express itself. So over the years, you kind of watched Tim Duncan be a quiet leader, but he was on a team with Tony Parker, Jim Nobley, David Robinson, people who would open up their guns and bark out instruction. Anthony Davis, to build a team around this guy, you're going to have to get him to talk. And when you get him to talk, who's going to take a guy serious that does not shave the space in between their eyes?
The Midas mind, as usual, brings about an insight that don't believe the hype. Anthony Davis got skills, but none of the intangibles to bankroll building a team around DizzieMac. Will you put you over there hanging out with Jennifer? Will you put the mimosa down and defend?
Since I must. Anthony Davis was only 6'3" until he was 16, 17 years old. So he was a point guard. And then all of a sudden, he found 6, 7, 8 more inches of height, that is, of height. And he will start to become enamored in his point guard type play. So he's going to be hoisting 3-pointers, hanging around on the perimeter, and not developing a devastating, cold, Joe, yeah, you like that word, cold, low post game. All the players of our era that had that size had a cold, low post game. Joe, you can relate to that. You got a cold, low post game when you got them down there.
Bumping, spinning, and shooting. You know it.
Yes. When you got them down there, when you got them down there in your torture chamber, you punished them. Anthony Davis will try to launch a jumper. Put it like this: any game-winning shot he hits hasn't been dunking and slamming and having a cold, low post game. You can't build a team around that. Can't do it. Because he will only disappoint you. Plus, he gets hurt a lot. He's too white, too light. Soft. Yeah.
Okay, we heard the defense from DizzieMac over there on the Bearskin rub, and I see he had Jennifer rush him over a fresh mimosa. But a man that we could never accuse of drinking Steel Reserve. That's right. Andre Ramirez. That's right, Andre Ramirez. Extreme Sports. He reads the label before he drinks.
That's a warning. This is just wrong.
Don't believe the hype. Anthony Davis got skills, but none of the intangibles to bankroll building a team around.
There's a lot of hype on Davis. I do remember last January, he came in winning 5 games and losing 12. He could be good, but they can't win a championship because they're the Pelicans. You have no chance at all. So, it's one of those things where, you look at all the other players and when your whole roster is bad and, there's really no hope for any type of playoff. And, you might just be one of those players where, he'll be good, but, will someone really give him a chance because he's not really a leader? It might take some time for him to build that because, he doesn't really talk much. He might have to work on his social skills. And he's got to shave that unibrow. It looks crazy. I was attacking the man's unibrow. He keep himself clean, That's what it is. It's all about image. And, but I guess he wants to be, look original with the brow. just like Harden with the beard, but just with a statement. But I don't see the Pelicans going anywhere. So if the Pelicans aren't going to go anywhere, he ain't going to go anywhere.
All right. Well, we heard the defense. If the Pelican can't fly, then Davis kind of grounded. But we haven't heard from the First Lady. Don't believe the hype. Anthony Davis got skills, but none of the intangibles to bankroll building a team around. First Lady, defend.
Anthony Davis has talent, no question, but he's only a defensive player. He's too raw of an offensive player to be your number two, to build a team around. I mean, he played on a bad team last year. That's why he scored 20 points. You need to complement your number one person with someone who can score on a consistent basis. Defensive players are more considered a role player versus being a Kobe to Shaq, Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan, Robin to Batman, Tonto to the Lone Ranger. Anthony Davis is your Dennis Rodman, Michael Cooper, or Alfred the Butler. He is an important piece, but he's not the number one nor the number two.
Ouch.
Woo. Well, you heard the defense from the First Lady.
I heard that killed the career.
And you've been listening to Flip It, but they throwing up the red and the yellow flags on us, so that must mean the original Shimmy Shake girl, a.k.a. Jennifer, needs to take us to break.
Keep your ears glued to those speakers. Up next, the funnies and Phil Spit.
High five, First Lady.
Oh, beautiful, just beautiful. Oh, how adorable is that? Edible Arrangements has a fresh fruit bouquet to make any occasion special. Our bouquets are made with fresh premium fruit, arranged in a variety of stunning displays. Make every occasion special with Edible Arrangements. Guys, the baby's over here.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay, yes.
And don't even think about touching my Edible Arrangements.
For pickup or delivery nationwide, call 877-DO-FRUIT, 877-DO-FRUIT, or go to ediblearrangement.com. That's ediblearrangement.com. Yeah.
Oh, my. What a nice looking baby you've got there.
Make all your special moments. Moments with Edible Arrangements.
Welcome back. You're listening to Raw, Panties and Sports. It's time for the funnies, DizzieMac. Over to you.
Jennifer, come over a little bit close. I got, let you know something.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, okay. We have a term around the network called need to grow. I mention this because we have a real live one named Alvin Cross Jr. Jennifer, you want to know what he did?
What did he do?
This need to grow. Accidentally text his probation officer trying to buy some weed.
No.
Yes. That text was, you had some weed? Holy cheating Charles. Well, but hey, this need to grow is getting some education, Jennifer. You know what kind of education you're getting?
What kind of education?
He's taking remedial studies for the next 2 years, courtesy of Club Penitentiary. Oh, no. Hey, believe me, you won't text again. Hey, well, hold up. Hey, tell somebody slap some water on the bearskin rug, Jennifer. Let's get off this bearskin rug before we get wet.
Oh, that ought to catch him up on texting 101. Oh, jeez.
Well, it's time on that note, it's time for Flip It. But before we start flipping, we need something to set the mood, the context for this segment. That was just a little something to get us in the mood for the context. Now, remember, this is Flip It, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Seattle Seahawks have had some gut-wrenching losses, and perhaps the team is starting to point fingers, especially when it's reported some players don't feel Russell Wilson is black enough. Panel, we ask you to defend the indefensible. Russell Wilson is obviously a white man's black quarterback, and the brothers can tell. Russell, you need to play better to get the respect of the brothers on the team. DizzieMac, defend the indefensible.
I tell you. Wow. I can't say that this is totally true, but it is true. Russell Wilson is obviously a game manager. We understand certain things about certain guys when you're in the locker room. You're seeing them up close every day in practice. You got to sometimes live on the edge. The Brett Favres, the Joe Namaths, the Jim McMahons, the Joe Montanas, Terry Bradshaw's lived on the edge and won more. You got to get the respect. You got to get your game up. If it takes going for 300, running for 100, that's what you got to do because you got the skills. Don't hold back and play safe. DizzieMac doesn't play that way. Look at me naked live on the Bearskin rug.
Okay, we heard the defense from DizzieMac. Russell Wilson is obviously a white man's black QB, and the brothers can tell. Russell, you need to play better to get the respect of the brothers on the team. Joe Midas Mind Miller, defend the indefensible.
Ronnie, it's obvious that Russell Wilson is a black quarterback, but he's a white man's black quarterback. What I mean to say is when you got that kind of upset feeling on your team, obviously you've been supporting the white guys more than you have the black guys. You have snuggled up to the front office, and as long as they got their favorites, you're going to roll with their favorites instead of pointing out that the brothers over here are making the same plays and not getting any credit, not getting those contract bumps, not getting the basic things you need to get to keep a high level of intensity. And Russell Wilson is coming across to the brothers on the team like a flat out sell out. That's what's happening here. What's happening here?
That's my boy.
Just to give you an example, he done fired up and shipped Percy off because Percy was letting the rest of the locker room know. There it
Straight
is.
up.
Power to the people. Power to the people.
That's what's up.
Power to the people. Free Mr. Vaughn. Free Mr. Vaughn. Sorry about that, y'all. Just got a little got kind of 60s on y'all there. Andre, you savvy tongue sucker, defend the indefensible.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. I think life caught up to him when he won the Super Bowl. You know, when he was supposed to be considered the best of the best. You know, his stats ain't really showing. He is actually 29th in the league in passing. And you know what? When you mentioned, you know, he's not black enough, but who are his inspirations? You know, look at the league now. You know, it's the league. The best quarterbacks. Andrew Luck is my favorite. Then you have Aaron Rodgers, but he, you know, the Seahawks are more of a sub team, and he has to blend in. And if you don't blend in and you're not one, you're not going to win any games. So he needs to, you know, he has. That's the most important thing. You know, when you got one guy who just sticks out, you know, you're not a team. But, you know, when you're like all, you know, from the same hood, you know, you got that lingo, you know, you connect with each other. And they had that connection last year. And this year, they don't have it. And I do agree when they say, you know, come on, show your roots, you know, we're family. And, you know, if you play that role, you'll win more games.
West Side!
Hey. Southside. All right. We heard the defense from Andre. Black, step back. Brown, stick around. White, you're right. First lady, please defend the indefensible.
Russell definitely needs to play better because he was never a dominant quarterback, but he had the ability to always make the right play, whether running or passing. Well, let's cut to the chase. That is not the real issue here. The brothers in the locker room don't like Russell Wilson because he's being too friendly and cozy with management. Russell forgot that black men don't trust the establishment, whether it's their boss, the police, a judge, their lawyer. Hell, they don't even trust their own agents. They don't trust the system. Russell, stop being a brother from another planet.
Well, we heard the defense. I got my dashiki on, y'all. I got my black tam. I'm ready to go hang out with Reverend Al Sharpton. But
Prophet, that was First Lady who said that. I didn't say nothing.
Power to the people. Don't believe the hype. Revolution. But wait. All right, Jennifer, don't spike my mimosa so much next time. But you know we do have to flip it, so we're going to ask the panel to defend. Brothers don't judge the blackness of other brothers unless they are need to grow. Russell Wilson needs to keep doing what he is doing, and that defense needs to start playing like Super Bowl champions. Joe, Midas, Mine, Miller, defend.
Russell Wilson is the man. He is the face of that franchise. And unless you know a black owner of an NFL franchise, and I don't, he can't help but being a white man's black quarterback. His job is to produce for that team. And the black players that's on that team, their job is to produce for that team. If Russell is shining a little bit more than you, so much that he has the ear of the front office and some power, If you want that power, you don't need to throw around little racist threats, sell out comments, and question the man's manhood. Obviously, he has manned up enough to get in the front office. What you doing on the field that can get you there? Need to grow?
All right. You heard the defense from Joe Midas Mind Miller. And we're going to move on to Andre over there. I see itching. Brothers don't judge the blackness of other brothers unless they are a need to grow. Russell, keep doing what you're doing, but defense, start playing like a Super Bowl champion. Andre, defend.
Man, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians on this story. Russell, remember, the Seahawks got the number 2 rushing yards, and they're six in stopping the rush, but they have lacked in stopping the pass. And I'm going to say an embarrassment for the Seahawks.
Ooh.
How in the heck do you lose to the Rams?
That
was a story. But the Rams, how do you lose to the Rams? That's the biggest. The Jets, here's another game, San Diego Chargers, and they're not the same team anymore. But I kind of lost interest in the Seahawks. They still have a chance to make it. It's not technically the quarterback's fault. There's other issues going around the team, and the biggest issue was Percy Harvin running his mouth all over the locker room, causing tensions. Of course, you're not going to win in games. If you don't check your players, you ain't going to win. And if they can get that under control, the Seahawks can actually win games. But this is way outside the box of Wilson. He's just one player, but he's actually the main player because he's the quarterback. But you got the other players who are not in line, and I think that's what the coach needs to do is get everybody aligned again, and the Seahawks can start winning games. But, is it 3-3? We're that right now.
Yeah,
they're not looking too good right now. But the Rams, geez.
So you've heard the defense from Andre. Andre say, brother, you need to check yourself if you're going to lose to the Rams. And Richard Sherman, maybe some of them Alberta commercials you done made. You need to focus in on some shutdown defense. Well, Andre didn't say that, but I just kind of added that. Yeah, but we'll let the First Lady defend.
What does being black enough have to do with playing quarterback? If Russell Wilson plays like a white quarterback, it may be great because 2 of the best quarterbacks to ever play are white, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I don't care if he's not black enough. The bottom line, the Seahawks defense is not as strong and dominant as it was last year. The defense was destructive and impacted the game. The Seahawks are allowing more points. They are tied for 14th in points allowed per game and 19th in passing yards allowed per game, where they led the league last year. It's not Russell Wilson because he's the same player he was last year. He was never a dominant quarterback. Fix the defense, and the Seahawks will swoop into the Super Bowl.
Well, you've heard the defense. You've heard Flip It for this week. Don't forget, send us your guesses for the panel's Real World Series picks. Whoever's first to pick their real picks correctly will win a $50 Sports Academy gift card.
Dizzy didn't get a chance.
Dizzy didn't get a chance. Oh, Dizzy. Defend. Dizzy, please defend.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, right there. You can't judge the blackness of another brothers because the same issue is the same issue they had a problem with last year, which is no offensive line. The man is running like a scared chicken. You can't keep just blaming him for he can't throw the ball and block at the same time. Run for his life. Give him some protection. Defense, here it is. You let the Cowboys run over you. You let the Lambs just, march over you. Come on. you got to know that you're going to be tested every week because you are the hunted. Russell, keep doing what you're doing, brothers. Defense, shut up and start playing. It's somebody else's fault.
Well, you heard the defense from Brother DizzieMac, who would never be accused of judging another brother's blackness.
No.
Yeah. Unless it was a suntan competition.
Then you got practice.
All right, I do apologize for the breakdown, but we've had a great flip it this week. And, Jennifer, thank you. You got that little drinking pool for my refill. Original Shimmy. You know from you. And, Jennifer, ease us on to the break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from the one and only Inobi on Shout Out. Please stay tuned.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Let's do it.
Hey, this is Spitface of Bluntly Speaking. And in between blunts, I'm always looking for the freshest fashion accessories and jewelry. That's why I go to hiphopbling.com. Look, I gotta have a look that would make the hoochies turn their heads and shake that ass. HipHopBling.com got the largest selection of hip-hop jewelry at prices that will keep your wallet fat instead of flat. The Rick Ross Black Diamond Solitaire Chain, they got it. Vampire Fame Shiny Gold Top Grills with diamonds, they got it. Black Jesus Peace Pendant and Chain, oh, they got it. Earrings, watches, rings, dog tags, and much, much more, they got it. HipHopBling.com has top-of-the-line merchandise, no plastic fillers or glued-on stones, none of that crap. This is Spitface, and I'm telling you to let HipHopBling.com keep you flossing with the latest styles at the best prices.
Shopping at the mall, looking for some.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the grand finale. The music flows from around the globe. To get a shout out from Cheryl and the crew.
We have another performance from Inobi. Let's hear the track She's Fly.
She's in the never can tell when her tank's empty. That's just her style. Her shoes are a few years old. She shops and rocks second-hand clothes, and it might as well be gold. 'Cause she's not in debt, and she's rich in her soul. She's easy going and carefree. Never can tell when her tank's on E. That's just her thing. Yeah, that's just her thing. In all situations, she never complains, y'all. She's fly. Yeah, she's fly. Oh, my, the girl is fly. She's fly. Yeah, she's fly. Oh, my. style. Yeah, that's just her style. In all situations, she never complains. No, she's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Oh my, my, the girl is fine. She's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Oh my, the girl is fine. My sister, woman and mother, you give birth to nations. You teach them and reach them love unconditionally. To some you have nothing, but you have conquered all. Standing tall and strong, suffering long but patient, simply unequivocally alive. She's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Oh my, the girl is fine. She's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Oh my, the girl is fine. She's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Oh my, the girl is fine. She's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Oh my, the girl is fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's fine.
That was She's Fly. Let me go to DizzieMac. He knows about having some fly girls. So, DizzieMac, what do you think about She's Fly?
Oh, I thought she was fly. I like that. We chilling over here on the Bearskin rug. Jennifer, the Shimmy Shake girls. Yeah, we moving and grooving to that. Shout out.
All right. Okay, you moving to group with Jennifer. You're fly. Did you like I know She's Fly?
She was fly. That was a good song. She was hitting those highs and those lows. She was good. She's fly.
She's Fly. Ronnie B. Shouting it out.
I have to give Inobi a shout out and want to congratulate her on being chosen for a 6th world tour with the USO over there supporting our troops and bringing them a little love from the homeland.
All right. Shout out to Inobi. Joe Midas Mine. What do you think of Inobi and She's Fly?
Inobi is talking about a bad girl, and every man on this panel has known one. She's fly. That's a shout out.
Okay. And finally, Andre. What do you think about She's Fly, Inobi song?
The beat was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of if I was driving a 64 Cadillac down Crenshaw Boulevard with the Shimmy Shake girls, you know. Give it a shout out.
All right, shout it out. Well, I know Inobi is great, and I like her style and her music, so I'm going to definitely shout it out. That's the end of the shout out. If you like what you heard from Inobi, hit her up at inobi.com, and that's INOBE.com. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to panties@oldgrumpyradio.com. It is time for the picks. And Joe, you were flying high last week, weren't you? You jumped into the lead.
That didn't last long, did it?
It sure didn't last long, Joe, because guess what, Joe? You came up with some goose eggs this time around. Last week, Joe did not have a good week. Matter of fact, you had -2 points because you missed the upset point. You had 0 for the regular picks, and you have a -2. DizzieMac, You are at 2 points from last week. You had 4 for the regular picks, and you didn't get your upset game. Andre had a great week. He had 6 points, but you didn't get your upset game. Matter of fact, you just missed it, man. That interception by Breeze cost you that win. But anyway, you ended up with 4 points. But I guess I'm going to toot my own horn here because I got 10 points and I had the upset game. Yes, I did. I had 6 points for the regular picks and I got my upset game because I had Miami over Chicago. Matter of fact, if you remember, I had 2 upset games and both of them won. So I ended up with 10 points. So this is the scores after week 7. 35 for me, 27 for Dizzy, 27 for Joe, and 29 for Andre. So I'm playing with house money. I just hope I don't have a repeat of what happened to Joe to happen to me. So anyway, let's get to our next.
Do that. It's your show.
Let's get to the new picks, and I'll tell you, these are some tough picks. So we're going to really have an interesting week. We have Seattle versus Carolina. I'm on the fence with this one because Seattle is playing so poorly, but I'm going to go with the Panthers because they haven't been playing well either. I think they need to win, so I'm going to pick the Panthers at home. Who do you have, DizzieMac?
I'm going to go with Seattle.
Okay. Joe?
I have to go with Seattle. They got that beat down from Dallas. They just had a hangover from that last week. They'll be back this week.
Well, they have lost, 2 in a row? And Andre, who do you have?
This game is a revenge game. If you look at it, two big losses, and this is going to be I see Seattle wins by 10.
Okay, so I'm sitting there all alone. We got the Ravens versus the Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals. The Bengals, if I'm not mistaken, have lost 2 games in a row, and they definitely have to win this game. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. Andre, who do you have?
Man, Bengals got some problems with the receiver out, so a lot of injuries. I understand that Ravens do got their tight ends out, too, with a knee injury. But I like the Ravens to pull by 4 points.
All right, DizzieMac?
I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay, and Joe?
Ravens for me.
Ravens for you. Okay. Big game, Eagles versus the Cardinals. Wow, what a game. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. It just seems that every team that has to travel from the east to the west coast, they lose a little energy. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Andre, who do you have?
This one's a very tough game. It's a tosser because I like the way Arizona's they got actually in tune right now for this game, but it's a tough one. I got to flip the coin on this one. I got to give it to the home team, Arizona.
Okay, Arizona. DizzieMac?
Cardinals.
Going for the Cardinals. I didn't know what happened to you there, DizzieMac. All right, Joe.
I want the Cardinals to win because the Eagles are in the division with the Cowboys, but they're not going to. The Cardinals are perpetrating a fraud, and the Eagles are going to fly out there and pound.
So who do you have? The Eagles?
Eagles.
All right, Packers versus the Saints. Now, normally you would always pick the Saints at home, but I'm sorry, they're a done team, so I have to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. DizzieMac.
Stick a fork in them. Woo!
Stick a fork in them. They're done. All right, DizzieMac, who do you have? Packers or Saints?
I'm going with the Saints. The Saints are going to go upside the Packers and Aaron Rodgers' head. Discount double check this.
Okay. Joe?
I'm going with the Pack. Ronnie B told me when I was bragging on Chicago, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. I better stick with him.
All right. Aaron Rodgers. And Andre?
This is another.
What are the wise guys saying about this one?
Well, the wise guys are all over the Saints. But the wise guys can be wrong lots of times, because they're old school. I like the Packers.
You got the Packers. Okay. We're all hanging out there. We were usually unanimous, but now we got one person out there with the Saints. All right. The Colts versus the Steelers. This is a toss-up game, too, but I just don't like the way the Steelers play. They're not consistent. So even though they came back last week, I am definitely going to go with the Colts on the road. Andre, who do you have?
This is actually one of my biggest premium games. Andrew Luck has said hot blowout by 17 points. Colts.
The Colts.
Oh.
Joe?
Colts.
And DizzieMac.
Rolling with them Colts.
All right. Okay, so Colts all the way. All right, the upset game of the week. If we win, we get 4 extra points to our win total. If we lose, 2 points come off of our win total. All right. My upset game, I guess I'll call it toss-up. I have 2 of them, and I'm really on the fence. Jacksonville over Miami, Oakland over Cleveland, because Oakland needs to win a game. Cleveland had a massive blowout. So, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville over Miami, because Miami's flying high after the winning. And actually, they beat Chicago, and the Jacksonville team won last week. So I think they're on a little roll. They're going to try to get 2 in a row. And I think Miami may come in kind of lax. So I'm going with Jacksonville over Miami. Who do you have, DizzieMac?
I'm going, Joe, you my boy, right?
Let's hear it.
Washington over Dallas.
Oh, what? I stayed away from that one, DizzieMac.
It is obvious that Jennifer has given him a can of that steel reserve in place of his mimosa. Jennifer, cut that out, Jennifer. Cut that out.
I think she might have dropped a Molly in his cup.
Okay, Joe, who do you have as your upset pick?
I'm kind of like you, First Lady. I especially like upsets, big upsets, when the 2 teams are in the same state, because it's a big brother, little brother fight. So either Jacksonville and Miami or Kansas City and St. Louis, and both the underdogs won last week. I think I'm going to go with St. Louis to knock off Kansas City.
Okay, St. Louis over Kansas City. Okay, and finally, Andre?
I have a small underdog on the road. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. The Tampa Bay, they have been the disaster. They're 0-4 straight up. And
Wait, both of those teams suck. Both of those teams suck. We need an upset.
Yeah, upset.
That is an upset on an underdog.
Who you picking? The Tampa Bay or you're picking Vikings?
I like the Vikings to pull the upset.
The Vikings.
All right, over Tampa Bay. But I agree with you, Joe, on that. That is not really an upset. Both were horrible teams. But anyway, we'll double check to see what we have for our points next week. Before we go, it's time to find out what we missed this week. DizzieMac, what did you miss?
Man, I missed Steve Nash being ruled out for the rest of the season because of a back injury.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, he did not earn his money for that contract. Andre of ExtremeSportsPicks.com. What did you miss, and what is the hot pick of the week?
I actually missed the World Series. It's really nothing big for me, but actually this week we got 2 big money plays. I gave out the free pick with Indy, and I have another big release coming out. You can get on the website at ExtremeSportsPicks.com. It's going to be a money week for NFL. I've been hot 67% winners, and the money keeps on rolling in.
Okay, Jennifer. Oh, excuse me. Let me back up a little bit. Midas mine. I know you don't miss any money. What did you miss?
I missed the breakdown of the sweeping nature of Kansas City's playoff games. I thought once they started and won the first game, they really had something going. The next thing I know, They jump out to a little lead. It looks like they're going to do something in game 2, and San Francisco goes old school and spanks them. That's a problem.
Okay. Jennifer, the original, and I mean the original Shimmy Shake Girl. What did you and the ladies miss?
Aside from everything, we missed this. We missed all of you. We missed being in the studio, drinking mimosas, and having a good time.
Okay. Shout out from the Shimmy Shake Girl and Jennifer. Okay. Well, I miss Peyton Manning going off on the Denver scoreboard operator for playing music and showing players dancing to get the crowd fired up while they had the ball. I don't know if you want to jump after your own employees on your team, Don. I don't know what he was doing, but that's unlike Peyton Manning. Very unlike Peyton Manning. This is Cheryl Smith. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.
Mimosa